Hello.
Hello.
Pull up a chair and join us in the alcove, here with episode 37 of our homebrewed 5th edition D&D campaign, the Chaoslands. As always, before we start, we have a handful of quick announcements to get through.
Looks so good tonight.
New year, new us.
Thank you.
We're changing our streaming schedule to Mondays instead of Wednesdays. That's, well, one of those is today. One of those is 2 days from now. Get with the program. Going live at 7 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 today. We'll get to 7 eventually. On both Twitch and YouTube, with VODs available immediately after the stream ends. You can follow and/or subscribe to both of those to get a notification whenever we're going live. While you're following us on our streaming platforms, you'll also find links to all of our social media accounts, our Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Go ahead and follow those for all the latest news and schedule updates, as well as awesome character art, profiles, and other fun things. Also, a big shout out to Syrinscape, because epic games need epic sound. Syrinscape is a digital app with a collection of amazing sound sets and music that we use to improve the ambiance of our game and stream. If you're looking for a way to improve the immersion at your RPG table, go check them out at Syrinscape.com.
I think Rafay was the
feels weird, and I think
Rafay was the wrong way.
Probably.
Rafay was the wrong way. Yeah.
Oh, no.
We also occasionally use Critical Role's Welcome to Tal'Dorei and Welcome to Wildmount Collection albums, as well as some royalty-free music courtesy of Riot Games. Links to those can be found below. I promise I will actually provide you with the links for the what this time.
Okay. If you say so.
It's your promise.
Alright, well, unless any of you have anything else to say. I mean,
Not
you can't
every
do that
time.
every week.
No?
No.
Hashtag open D&D.
But hashtag open D&D.
It'll be part of the video down below.
Wait, now there's a video down below?
Yeah.
Well, let's get started. Previously on the Chaoslands.
I don't know. I've run out of ideas.
Wait, did you even set it? Okay, there.
Yes.
It's just
We're
you
professionals.
talking over.
Yeah.
The Iron Will, after successfully restoring power to Ward 6 of Schema. It's louder than I thought it would be.
music.
Began to track down a way to free Arkmir from the magical vow placed upon him by a very influential and powerful man, Ezekiel Miralar. After weighing several options and potential avenues, he decided to return to visit Ezekiel and see if he was a man of his word, and willing to free you from the curse now that you have dealt with Hezarek, an ex-associate of his and defector from the Gulvendalas. On the way to Ezekiel's home and headquarters, the Mushroom Lounge in Ward 3, you stopped by at Clanko's curated collection of curiosities and contraptions, and had a frank conversation with the Warforged owner of the shop, Clanko, where he revealed that he knew frighteningly little about his past, and that the information that Seabot 1000 and 3000 had revealed in their excursion with you all into the Lightning Rift, the potential of traversing through time had reignited a spark of curiosity with him, so to speak. After doing some shopping, you visited Mr. Spycrack, the Big One's father, at their home, giving the Big One a chance to come to terms with his potential impending departure from the city, the only home that he has known. After a touching goodbye, you continued through Ward 5 back into the familiar underground caverns of Ward 3, which holds such memories for you all. Only to find yourself being tailed by a young messenger, a small child,
Should have just stabbed him.
known as Badger, who, upon being caught and accosted by Arkmir, told you that someone had been waiting and looking for you. He led you to a small hideout in a dark, dimly lit corner of the ward to meet with the man who had hired him, former attaché Thessalonicus Livetstar. He informed you that he discovered his former boss and chief engineer of the city, Harriet Halfstep's whereabouts. After being swept up in the tidal current during the explosion, incident, whatever you might want to call it, at the Prime Conduit Spire, apparently she was fished out of the water by the Gulvendalas and being kept in a hidden underground lair. Knowing your prior connections and your reliable and capable nature, so he thinks, Livetstar pleaded to you to help rescue Harriet and try to restore the city to the way that it had been. In this small, cramped hideout, fairly well decorated, but perhaps not large enough for the 7 or so people of varying sizes currently forced into it. Attaché Livetstar is sitting at a chair in front of a desk. Turns to face you all after explaining his plan. What would you like to do?
We're talking about the same Ezekiel Miralar here. The unkillable
ruler of Ward 3.
Unkillable. Not news.
So we've heard.
I mean, to be fair, I don't think we should kill anybody.
I agree.
I'm just interested in rescuing Harriet.
Whereabouts is this hideout or dungeon that you speak of?
I have a suspicion. I'm not quite sure, but it's the lead that I've got from my prior experience working some books. There was a mining shaft that was closed some months ago. The paperwork from it, I was suspicious of back when it happened, like when I was working as in my prior role. And I followed up on it, and it seemed to point to some sort of backhanded deal with the Govendalis. Miralar's connection with the organization is an open secret, so to speak. They control the cistern, and I assume that whatever their dealings are involve the underground river somehow. The channel for the water from the ward to circulate back to the Climatology Bureau. It provides him and the Govendalis with an artery of sorts for transportation, smuggling, all sorts of things. I assumed originally that this mining shaft was simply another power grab of sorts, but, well, if it's connected to their base as operation, it's as good a place as any to try and sneak in. I have no idea where they would be keeping her, but it's an avenue of getting in.
Did you say that's in Ward 8?
The cistern is in Ward 8.
That's where you think Harriet is?
No. I think they... I have ways of knowing the general vicinity of her. She's within Ward 3, somewhere.
How do you spell cistern?
Cistern. The Govendalis control the cistern, which is in Ward 8. That might be where they got their hands on her, but they're not keeping her there. Ward 8 is pretty locked down, to be honest. I'm surprised they even still have a presence there. They won't, from what I've heard. The Alabaster chain are in town. The Govendalis won't have any control over Ward 8. Pretty sure nobody's going to have control over Ward 8. Except for them. I know it's a lot to throw on you all.
Yeah, we kind of have a lot on our plate already. But it's okay. It's fine.
I mean, you know I'm good for paying gold, and I'm sure if Harriet is reinstated, having the chief engineer owe you all a favor, another one, a big one, could be useful.
How do we know? Finding her and bringing her back into the light, the Alabaster, what was their name again?
Alabaster chain or something?
Yeah.
How do we know they won't just put her down?
The Artificer Council has spent the past maybe 6 months or so trying their best to remove Harriet Halfstep from power. Returning her back after I'm assuming what happened in the Conduits Fire helped save the city, and her hiring of you all to help restore Ward 6, she will have considerable clout if she was to return to the position.
Well, I do make all my
I don't think she
decisions on
ever
clout.
really wanted to be in the position, to be honest. I think Harriet's a good person. She wanted to help the ward, or she wanted to help the city.
I mean, the thing about military coups is that they don't really respect reputation or clout. So let's say that we rescue her. I mean, Miralar probably has interests in keeping her underground. Then what next?
I don't know what Miralar's interests are. All I know is that he had in the past hired an artificer to work for him. Apparently that artificer defected and joined the Silent Razors. He's kind of maybe been stuck for a while without having someone with expert knowledge to work on this project, and Harriet kind of fell into his lap. I don't know what he's doing. Maybe you can bargain with him to free her in exchange for working on this project. I don't really know. I don't think Ezekiel cares too much about power, as weird as it is to say.
What happened after the... You were an insider. What happened after the... What's it called? The place where we got Galeron?
Climatology department?
Yeah, what happened after the climatology department incident? Because it felt like Miralar was very comfortable with the situation. Did he strike a deal with you guys, or what happened?
Ezekiel Miralar is a very secluded person. He doesn't really reach out to people very often outside of his ward. But he had been making ground in Ward 4 with the unrest that had been happening there. People looked to the stability of Ward 3 and were relatively happy. A lot of people from Ward 4 tend to come to Ward 3 to work. And this ward, really, the artificers have never really held much sway here. It's been much more of a worksman's ward. He was popular, and after what happened with Galeron, the artificers were not, so to speak. We struck a deal.
But the artificers still control the city guard.
They do.
And they were not bothering him. Come on, tell me the truth. Was there a deal?
We don't have the capacity to really bother Ezekiel Miralar. We were much more focused on protecting Ward 1.
Inside check.
Make an insight check.
I just want to roll dice. I know I was gonna say that he's speaking the truth. Oh, 5 and a 7, that's great.
You're gonna believe whatever he says.
11.
He is definitely being a bit cagey with his words. You can tell that it's not just... It's not him who made the deal. It's not Harriet that made the deal. There are people in the Artificer Council, and the Council... And he kind of just, looking at you, eyeing him a little bit closer, he just says, the Artificer Council has many people who are interested in many different things. There's forces in there, members who wanted to bring Rioviz along, and Galeron pitching that Rioviz help out the city probably pushed them over the edge. There's others who want to just pack up and leave the city and move to somewhere else. There's all sorts of crackpot ideologists in the Artificer Council. There's only 5 of them, but that's 5 more than there should be, in my opinion.
So it's quite possible that whoever was interested in that situation is still there.
Oh, definitely.
And working against you.
Definitely.
We can't assume that we have an ally in Maryland for this.
I don't know if you do, but I know Harriet. If you can get her out, that could change things. I do think so. She was part of the reason why the council was sort of held in balance. Ever since Hammond Halfstep left, there were forces trying to influence the way the Primarch of the city was, well, not left, disappeared. trying to influence how the city was run. She was single-minded, focused, and generally, how do I put this? She does have the elite guard of the artificers on her side. Cogmaster Holdred is a personal friend as well. So,
Who's that?
the guard captain of the Iron Cog.
Can we recruit them for this mission?
Oh, they're not going to come to War 3.
Balls.
Plus, I think there's probably
Yeah,
a close
right.
eye on them of the Alabaster.
Wait, you have a new tagline.
No.
No, this is going to require a delicate hand anyway. I don't think this should be, in my opinion, a smash and grab operation. I think you'd need to get in and get out without ruffling any feathers, if possible.
On that note, Nakarada, you mentioned that you have a way of knowing the vicinity of Harriet. Can you elaborate?
She's within a mile of here.
How do you know that?
He lifts up his collar, or pulls apart his collar, and you can see a small necklace dangling on his neck. She can find me, I can find her. Vaguely speaking.
Would that be useful to us if we're gonna look for her?
I mean, it'll tell you if you're within a mile of her.
Does it tell you the direction?
No.
I mean, we just have to bring him along.
I'd really rather not personally be involved, if you don't mind.
Can we borrow the necklace until then?
If you think it'll help.
I don't know if it will be much help. If she's being held somewhere,
Just in case.
Ward
something
3
happens,
can't be
please.
much bigger than that.
But we'll
try
know if
sending
she's
her a
gone
message?
for whatever reason.
You think it'll help. Yeah. Takes off the necklace. So you can see on the necklace itself, it's a small, relatively plain-ish, electro steel, almost pendant clasp, a circular pendant, with a small red jewel inside of it.
Matches your
Sends it
skin.
over.
I know artificers and some other folks in the city are capable of sending messages remotely. Have you tried?
I have tried. She didn't respond. There's a small chance, very small, that my sources are wrong, and that this is a trap. That they took the necklace, that somebody else is wearing the necklace. I'm pretty positive she's alive. My gut tells me she's alive. But there is always a risk.
So when I put on this necklace, what exactly do I feel?
Nothing. You need to attune to it.
Oh, no, not too nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess it's similar to locate object and stuff or something like that, where it doesn't tell you if you're getting closer or not.
Yeah.
It just, you know that she's in a mile.
Has
pretty
there been
jewelry.
a time recently that she's been outside of that parameter?
I mean, I've only been in this ward for a couple of days, not since then. The part that I have on good authority is that she washed up at the cistern
In Ward 8.
in Ward 8.
Sorry, I missed it. Did we say that trying to message her didn't work?
Yeah, said he tried, she didn't get any response.
Do you think one of Clanko's cards would behave differently in any way?
Is it safe? Because then
I don't know. How
We
they
also
fully
have no
match.
idea if it'll get to her. It doesn't tell me, so it might just fly somewhere, and then that's all we know.
So then if
We'd
we're
get
trying
no
to get
info.
down there, obviously we have our meeting coming up with Ezekiel. Huh?
Meta speak or player speak. I know what happens if the person's not reachable.
Yeah, we know that.
Does
It just goes.
do the characters know?
Yeah, I asked Clanko the day we bought the first one. It fizzles out or
Yeah, it basically
turns to
just
ash.
You
turns
knew
to
that when you were
ash.
trying to send to your sister too.
But
Yeah.
even still, even if it does or doesn't, it still doesn't offer us any
It could potentially put her in danger too.
Yeah.
If she's seen.
Yeah.
Receiving.
It wouldn't give us any information. Like it could fly and we'd be like, yay, she's somewhere.
Wouldn't be for us. It wouldn't
Yeah.
be for us if we were sending anything.
Yeah.
It'd be strictly for her. But I don't know how it's received.
Well, you could just say hello.
Hello there.
So then what do? We go to the mushroom lounge, we see Ezekiel, and then do we just say like, hey, I heard like the underground, that's pretty cool. Can we go check it out?
No, first we
No.
need to take care of my situation.
We don't, in my opinion, we don't bring this up with him at all. Because he could just be like, kill her.
Levitstar.
Or kill
I
us.
thought we were in character again.
Oh, well then, no. The big one will say that then too.
Levitstar.
I'd like not to die.
Yeah.
I can arrange for someone to wait for you at the Gearfist terminal to head into one of the mining shafts and make your way over later tonight. I would probably recommend doing this under the cover of darkness at night, but it's a mine, so who knows? It might be more crowded at night because the Mushroom Lounge is closed. I'm
Mushroom
not
Lounge is closed.
It's daytime.
let's just say, I'm not a planner of heists or delving. I mostly try and do paperwork.
We need better than that. We need information. You can't
I
just.
can help provide you with some information.
You can't just point
you-
and says, go to that mine. She might be alive. She might not. I tried to mentally send a message to her and she didn't respond.
Livid Star, obviously, I guess you're not coming with us. Is there a way that we can stay in touch with you?
That I can arrange. He reaches down into one of his pouches and to like fiddle around with something. He pulls out a small, almost like a stone of sorts. It's like smooth and polished. Looks like almost like granite. Has like a little bit of marbling on it. He hands it to you as well. He just keeps handing you stuff. You can use that to speak with me if you would like. I would be careful not to use it too much.
Just gonna hold it like a
Hello.
walkie-talkie.
Hello.
Are you there?
Are you there?
What you doing?
I mean,
10-4.
regardless of what we decide, we need to make sure the thing in your head is out of you before we go.
Yes.
The second you
use
catch...
those-
Use the bomb.
You can use that once a day.
Once a day, sending
Okay.
stuff.
And you can respond?
The second Miralar catches whiff that we're doing this, he could just instantly... Yes. But if we're giving
You
our
mentioned-
own...
It seems you all have some sizable history with Ezekiel Miralar. How much do you know of him? What type of man is he?
He's unkillable. He has a time bomb in his head.
Nobody's unkillable.
Oh, well, that's what we know.
There's a particular book that he's very, very, very fond of.
It's Twilight.
That's partly the reason why, well, my life is in his hands at the moment.
Well, he pressed a button.
Ah,
He
he did.
hates buttons. Ezekiel.
I almost got away with this book.
Okay.
Do you mind if we have a discussion in private about this?
Sure. You can go outside.
Yeah, you can go outside.
No.
I can't actually.
No?
You can go outside.
Are we still under the safety of whatever spell you have here?
I mean, once you're outside, probably not.
I don't
You'll
mind
just be in
talking
some
in front of
alleyway.
him. Can you,
Do
like, can
you
you plug
mind
your ears?
Huddle.
plugging your ears and like walk into the corner?
Sure. He like covers his ears.
Face the wall.
He's like,
Roll
okay, well, his
persuasion
ears
check.
are closed.
My
Sure.
fails that. Persuasion.
Pretty good.
19.
He just turns his, like the chair that he's in over to the wall and like closes his ear and just sits there.
Huddle.
Alright, so here's the thing. I'm worried that assuming that we go there and assuming that we find her and assuming that we kill whatever's holding her because it's not gonna give up without the fight and assuming we'll make it out And assuming we get here, then what? Harriet is not going... Like, I don't want to be involved in a civil war.
That's when we go to Sophia.
We, like, if... Honestly, like, if we do this, that's all that we do. I really can't be dragged more into the political machinations of the city. I need to go find more about them again.
Defuse the bomb, save Harriet, head to Sophia.
Save Arkmir. Any of that?
The defuse the bomb.
That's
I'm totally there with you. I don't think saving Harriet would get us any more involved in anything. If anything, it might help break some of the tensions within the city.
I don't know, man.
But the only
scared.
thing that I'm thinking of is I owe Mr. Hammond and Harriet pretty much my entire life. They've done more for my father and myself than any of you could possibly know. They gave us a city, a job. They gave me a life, a chance. If she's alive and we have even a small inkling where she might be, I have to try.
Do we all owe them after what they did for us or what they did in World 1?
That's fair. All I'm saying is...
It'll be dangerous.
No, I'm not worried about that. Like, I can take a punch. The problem is, if we get out and then she's like, oh, I need security to get to the spire again.
That's what Livid Star's for, right?
I just
she still has
don't
friends
want to be
in the
dragged
city.
more into this.
Maybe we just make it real clear with Livid Star. We get her out, then we're out. That's it.
I look at her, or him, sorry.
He's just turned his face to the wall. He's just like rocking his chair back and forth. He's actually like, if you go around and look at him, he's closed his eyes. It's just kind of rocking his chair back and forth.
I think we just take this one step at a time, because I understand where you're all coming from, but this is my home. This is my city, and to ignore the issues and things that are happening would be a little irresponsible for me. I want answers in other places just like you, but I won't just up and abandon my father in this place. And if Harriet can restore some of that, even a little bit, I certainly have to try, no matter what the consequences might be.
I agree, taking it one step at a time. We do have to go see Ezekiel, period. We know that for sure.
We just need to make our contract very clear.
And Livid Star said there's quite a bit of gold in it for us.
Do we have to sign a contract right now? Like, can we see... Like,
Oh, I don't think there's actually a physical contract we
like
need to sign.
a verbal contract. Do we have to agree to anything? Because what if we go and see Ezekiel and then he's like, by the way, like, there's dragons in the underground, and then...
Well, then his family knows a thing or two about killing dragons, so we're in good
Not
hands.
my family, is the...
Well, you're descendants of the big family.
What?
I made that up, but it sounded cool.
Guys, there's
No, that's a racist. We're not all the same family.
How's that racist?
Cornwall.
Cornwall was started by somebody.
Many, different clans,
That's one thing Big One knows is the history of Cornwall.
That's true. I do know a lot.
I mean, it's true. The House of Corn has destroyed the previous dragons.
There you go.
But
I just
I
thought.
don't have that kind of knowledge. We were like...
You guys,
Yeah, but think if you
Swordsmiths
killed the
and
dragon, you would be known as Tymond the Dragon Slayer. How cool would that
guys,
be? What?
there's no dragons. I was making that up.
Well,
as
why
an
would you even
example.
suggest that?
All I'm
I mean,
saying
they
is
existed
maybe-
at some point.
No.
It's etched in the walls, and
Is Hoku not real?
there was
How dare you?
there was the whole battle like picture of them.
Are you done?
Just
5 more
about.
minutes.
Just about. Just
I
a
can't
minute.
actually hear you, so just tap me on the shoulder if we're done.
I'm gonna say 5 minutes, but I think I only have 3 fingers. So.
Wouldn't that be funny if we just left?
He's like, guys.
but again, to your point, like we don't need to agree to more than anything other than I'm saving a family friend from. I mean, she did a great deal helping us, and like I said, I owe her a lot. So
It's the right thing.
first step, taking time bomb. Second step,
Half step.
Half step later, we save half step.
Wouldn't it be more efficient if we took full steps to get there?
But 6 steps forward, 19 back is what I've always heard. But yes, I think that's it. After that, if I have to help her get back to somewhere, I will make that decision. I would never put it on you, but right now it seems like Livetstar has some connections still in the city. We just find her and we save her and make sure she's all right. If that means right after we cut ends and split to Silthia, then so be it.
How do we know she's not dead?
We don't.
Isn't it weird that she couldn't reply to like
But when we're in a magic bubble, things don't get
mind
through.
message or something?
There's lots
There's
of protection.
several ways to protect against.
The artificers have a number of
Messages.
really cool magical barriers.
Maybe she likes it down there. Maybe she's like,
Yeah, maybe we get there and she's like, it's better down here than up there. And then we stay with her forever. I'm just kidding, that was a joke.
Not forever. I think we have a plan. I send Hoku to go and
no.
tap on the shoulder.
But talk money.
Then looks at you.
I
Well,
don't
that's
need
the
it,
thing.
but I know
He
Arthur
like
likes
adjusts
it.
his glasses a little bit.
I'm actually right by Livetstar now. So,
Oh.
how much gold are we talking about?
I would say
You need to be better than last time.
I thought you were going to say that.
You'll need to be better than that. Guy's just thinking of a number. No, go higher.
No, much better.
we can provide with gold or jewels. We can potentially also help with other things. I'm sure you all have needs. I think I heard earlier you mentioned something about Silthia.
Oh, yes. We are planning on heading there.
I
at
thought
some
you
point.
had your ears plugged.
Oh, you mentioned it before that.
Aster doesn't recall.
We're going to Silthia, by the way.
I do have a friend here who travels who's from there. I can maybe see if he's interested in maybe accompanying you, helping any sort of transportation.
See if they're interested. You need to do better than that. We need a commitment here.
1 second, he like begins to cast a spell. And he begins to almost like his face kind of glazes over as the arcane glow kind of like covers him. It's almost like a reddish orange glow from his spell being cast, and he begins to like mumble in the back of his head. And then he waits for a moment, just holding his chin. You're in luck. They're planning to leave in a few days. I can tell them to hold off until you all are done and ready to leave.
I mean, free transport sounds pretty good. That's a start.
I'm
So, how much
guide.
gold were we
That's
talking
and a
about?
guide.
That's probably what I was thinking.
10 G's! That's a lot of money. I mean, 100 gold to the big one's a lot of money. So.
Could you throw in some diamonds?
Ooh.
I don't have any on me right now.
It's
Question,
okay, you have a few days.
question for you. When I was younger, my father said there was a key to the city. Is there a physical key I could have?
There's no key to the city. You've already been to, honestly, the most tightly guarded and closely secret places in the city at this point. Not much else that a key would grant you access to.
Oh, that's alright. I'll make one.
I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be hard to secure diamonds, and we are on a little bit of a time crunch. The more days we wait, the more the alabaster chain takes a stranglehold over the city.
Well,
So,
Well, trust.
10,000 gold.
I mean, the reason I'm asking
I'll see
is
what I
I
can do.
just want to know how
10,001.
serious you are about wanting to rescue Halfstep.
I'll see what I can do. I don't have any diamonds on me right now, but I can see what I can do.
That's fine. I'm sure we can always find a way after the matter.
What do you have
Harriet
on
might
you?
have some diamonds on her, to be honest.
What do you have on you? Supplies, help, protection,
Health potions.
health potions, recovery potions.
Persuasion check.
Can I help him since I'm very cute and smiling at him?
That would probably help.
Yeah.
So very
I'm just repeating everything he says just in a nice like.
Can I roll separately on this?
Yes.
Yeah, either one of you roll the advantage, or one of you.
You have better
You-
persuasion, do you
You
not?
probably have much better
I have
persuasion.
decent persuasion.
Yeah.
It's not good luck.
You take the advantage.
Take the advantage.
If you roll bad, then you're cut from the guild and we let the bomb explode. That's good.
Okay, it's 19, so that's at least 27. And then I can roll. Also, I realized instead of rolling a d6 now for my psychic
it's
die, it's a d8. I've been messing that up because since level 5.
Cuteness overload.
Oh, okay. What did I say? 27. So that's 34.
He starts giving you the will of his house. He starts really like...
I've got a few potions that might help.
At least $10,000 gold. That's what I wrote.
I've got a few potions, and he just like begins to like rifle through some of the boxes that he's got sitting around.
All of this to help us with getting half step.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anything for half step.
I just like the guide and the transport. That's actually huge.
Yeah.
But we won't make that known to him.
He pulls out a box that has 3 vials in it that are kind of just like one the other, like arranged in like or inverted manners, like one in the middle. There's 3 potions of greater healing.
Oh, greater healing. Poggers.
I've got.
I'll grab them and we can just sort them out in a minute.
Honestly, in terms of consumable things that can help you right now, this might be it, but he hands you like a small pouch. So probably a couple of uses of Dust of Disappearance.
Ooh, that's good. So 2 uses of dust?
Yeah.
What is that?
You disappear.
It's probably like a one-time use of invisibility.
Yeah.
You and each creature and object within 10 feet of you.
Ooh.
Oh, and each creature.
For 2d4 minutes.
You smoke
long.
bomb.
Yeah,
Like,
it's smoke
it
bomb.
is basically. Where'd you go? There's 2 uses of that.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much. I think assuming our meeting goes well in the next little while here, we could probably make a play for this tonight.
Arkmir, with your high persuasion roll and Calthir, with your reasonably high perception, you notice him fiddling with like a
fidget spinner?
ring that he's wearing.
Is that a ring of Miralar killing?
You don't notice it.
We're probably looking.
He like looks down for a bit, like crosses his arms and looks back up.
What you got there?
Are you like that livid star? Do you think? Sorry, you helped us a lot here, but that ring you're wearing, is that something else that could help us here?
Could be his wedding ring.
Could be a last ditch thing.
At
I
this-
don't recommend it. But he like takes off the ring and hands it to you. If you are absolutely stuck and have nowhere else to go, circle the rim 3 times.
Rim jack.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah.
Just gently stroke the rim about 3 times.
Do you use your tongue?
You can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where we got transported?
Pleasure to.
The brothel?
Alright, we got the rim job.
The ring of rim job.
I don't recommend it. But if you absolutely need to, it'll get you out of a mine.
Why don't you recommend it?
The place you're going will probably be more dangerous.
What do you mean?
Let's just say it's a bit hostile.
Let's say more.
You seem like you're hiding something from us.
It'll send you to where I'm from. I'm not from around here.
And where are you from? We don't keep. We haven't been keeping any secrets.
It's not from
him.
around here. It's not here, not this continent. not this plane of existence. Let's just try not to use it. If you accidentally use it, you might not make your way back here. If you absolutely, positively need to leave, you can use it. You might not survive the other end. Warning has been given.
Why do you have this, Living Star?
To go home.
But you would be fine if you went back.
Fine is relative.
Okay.
Back to you two.
Well,
Do you put the ring on, or do you keep it?
We'll need to.
Actually, as soon as you grab it, it's hot.
it's
Oh,
not-
it's a ring.
It's
It's a fire plane.
But I'm like,
It's like really, really hot. Like you're wearing a glove, and you can feel the heat like through it.
even with like my
He
own,
was wearing it on his bare finger.
right. Even as someone is like as a tiefling.
As a
so
tiefling, it's like a little bit more tolerable for you.
okay.
It's still be
But
able
it's
to
still-
tell it's hot though.
Yeah. Okay. I'll slip it on underneath my
ring.
gloves.
It's very generous of you.
Again, first off, don't use it. Third, if you get out with it, please give it back to me.
Yep.
That's unfair.
It's not simply to be used trivially. It's one of my few ways back home. I'm trusting you all with this, so
I appreciate it. I think it kind of goes both ways.
if you do use it, I think it takes everyone within 10 feet of you.
We'll just hug each other.
Try to group up.
So is it like
Do we have to be touching each other?
I don't think so.
You have to be touching each other's rim.
Centaur hats?
Yeah. Yeah. Mouth to rim.
I'm not comfortable.
3 times, remember.
3 times.
Hopefully you don't have to use it.
Correct. I'm scared though.
Well, again, thank you so much. This is very generous. I was half step a lot, so if she's down there, we'll bring her back. I promise. We really should be getting going though, unless there's anything else you feel might be important information or.
Anything
else?
you want to give us?
Yeah.
Should I tell my
Sorry,
contact to wait in Gearfist Terminal for you all tonight?
I think we should probably
Don't
act
mind.
the sooner the better.
Assuming everything goes fine with.
Yeah, I mean,
Miralar?
we'll let him know if it doesn't.
If you hear from us before then, assume
The worst.
we'll tell you what went wrong.
The bomb went off.
Sounds good.
Where is it? Sorry, you said gear what?
Anything
Gearfist
Arkmir had on
Fist
his skull.
terminal?
Being from Schema, you would know that the Gearfist
I want the necklace for her.
He was a former chief engineer.
Gotcha.
They worked a lot on like the mining,
Cool.
building more mines. Extraction of electrosteel really kicked into a whole new notch when he was the chief engineer.
Cool.
Probably like a few dozen years ago.
Cool.
Recent-ish history.
We should probably head to our.
I would like that very much.
Alright, so if
If
we...
you don't mind me saying so, Ezekiel Miralar and the Golden Douglas, they're not good people.
Oh, we know.
Oh, they're not?
Wait, what?
They might make a
You-
good appletini, but they're assholes.
If you were to hamper his efforts in any ways or bring him to justice somehow, it would help the city.
That's not permission to push buttons.
We might be a little
Living
out of our
Story
league
said so.
now, but maybe in the future.
Man, to be honest, it's not a bad idea that if we cross Miralar by rescuing Harriet, then we have a way out of town.
A quick way out of town?
Living
I
Store,
think so.
do you have any?
Said a day
I
or
guess-
two later. So that's
Do you
pretty
have
quick.
anything in mind, at least, in regards to what would help you, or maybe even others in the city, take on Miralar?
I don't think Miralar is as big of a threat as you all are making him out to be. He's the least of our concerns in my mind. And
Are you-
probably in Harriet's as well.
Are you aware of Lyra Lovelace?
Not really. I've heard that she's an associate of his.
From what we've learned, Lyra may be just as dangerous.
For
She's
past
the one
several-
that put the spell on me, by the way.
I don't know Lyra Lovelace, but Ezekiel Miralar has honestly not really wanted to expand his scope of power until recently. He's been around for almost a dozen years and been fairly content just running his business in Ward 3. The Silent Razors were much more of a threat.
And how long was
Even those, what did they call them? The Cure of Dust. Even they were more responsible for unrest and revolutionary speak than him. He was more focused on the status quo.
Maybe somebody's pushing him.
How long has Lyra been with him?
That's an interesting question. I don't know, actually.
Oh, a couple dozen years.
Just curious if something has changed. I mean, if Miralar's expanding, he could be more of a threat than you're.
Ezekiel Miralar has always been open to making deals and that help the people of the ward and help the people of Ward 4. Ward 3 has been almost in many years a model for a sort of isolated city within schema, like an isolated neighborhood that self-sufficient and almost performs trade and equal bartering with the rest of the city.
I'm confused. You say that Miralar is extremely dangerous, yet it seems like you also admire what he's done.
I don't think Miralar is dangerous.
I mean,
I want to rescue Harriet. I don't necessarily think that we should do anything to Ezekiel Miralar.
Arkmir's brain bomb would say otherwise.
I think that's just potentially a safety measure
Again,
to make sure he gets what he wants done.
I've never actually met him.
It might be more dangerous if you're intertwined with him if we can get out.
Ezekiel Miralar never leaves Ward 3.
So what's the worry about Half Step then?
I don't know where she is. Maybe she's there of her own free will. If she is, just get her out. Tell her what's happening to the rest of the city. Maybe she doesn't know.
Okay.
The city needs Harriet Halfstep. Right now, I think she's the best chance we've got at restoring the city back to the way it was.
Are you in
I'm sure
love
Miralar
with her?
will understand.
Are you in love with her?
Make a persuasion check or an insight check. Up to you.
I will.
He's getting that.
Nailed it.
He's getting that.
14? It blushes a little.
She blushes a little when you say that.
Aww, Libby.
We've known each other for a very long time. She's part of the reason why I'm here and not at home. I owe a lot to her.
Have you told her how you feel?
We should probably
That's not a
get
matter for
going.
now. Please just rescue her.
We should probably get going.
More than
Anything
you
you
than
want us to-
10,000 gold. I don't actually say that.
Oh, come on.
Anything you want us
Say
to
it.
pass on to her? Say it. When we're here?
Not to her, but if you do find her and she decides not to come help or she's not able to, just let me know that she's okay.
And that you miss her and you love her and you have this undying love that you've never been able to
Well,
feel
we'll make sure.
comfortable.
We should probably get going. The day is getting late. Thank you so much again, and I promise you, any information we get, we'll make sure to send it your way or any questions. But we will meet again, pending any unfortunate situations. We'll meet your colleague at Gearfist Terminal tonight.
Yeah. If you do, his name's Booth.
Booth?
Booth. He should be waiting at the terminal for you. If you do.
Thank you again.
What time?
Probably midnight. That sounds like a nice even time. Unless you decide to not do it tonight. It's up to you all, honestly. Just tell us when.
I think.
What time
send
does
them
the mushroom lounge close? That time we got out, it was pretty late.
Don't know. I don't actually remember. Yeah.
We were a little bit.
We're also like half dead.
We had a lot of golden
It was like
globes.
3-ish. Yeah.
So it might be before the traffic, which is good.
Well, what I mean is that it might be good if
He's
if
indisposed.
people are busy at the lounge.
People are there.
Anyway, we should
We should
Go
To the
all
Mushroom
leave.
Lounge.
thank you again. And all of this has been very helpful.
I appreciate it. Again, if you're unable to or decide not to, I do understand, but it would be a great service to the city. And I think I've already shown that I'm good for any favors or payments that you are owed.
Perfect.
You're not the best with information, but everything else were great.
You mean
I've
well.
been in hiding for a couple of weeks now. Most
Most
of my contacts, it's been hard to reach out to.
I don't mean nothing ill of it. I'm just stating the obvious.
Let's
Anyway.
get going.
Thanks, Libby. And you should really tell her how you feel. I'm gonna write to
I'm
you
just
to
gonna
see how
start
it goes.
pushing her out the door as she's saying
Well
this.
met.
Yeah. You're like,
Good luck.
I'm gonna send you a letter.
Alright. Well, that went.
You all step out of the hallway or step out of the small chamber. Actually, as you first try and open the door, it's locked, and you just like cast a spell, mumbles a little something, unlocks,
thank you.
and you step out.
So let's not discuss anything now, and let's go to the Mushroom Lounge. Let's try not to get ourselves involved in any more deals, and make sure you're okay before we do anything. Then we'll just.
I had the necklace out here. It's on my neck, but I'm actually going to take that off and just put that in my pocket for now.
We're gonna start heading.
You're wearing the ring.
The ring's
under
underneath
your
my glove. Yeah.
It's hot.
He likes it. Turns him on.
You are resistant to fire damage, but it is hot.
Yes.
All right, to the Mushroom Lounge.
Nice little tingly sensation.
You begin to make your way out. It takes you a little ways to get back to a main artery of the city.
When we first got out, was Rufus waiting for us out there?
Make a perception check.
If he is, I lowered Timon's gun.
I'm gonna choose that. Fucking bird. Oh wait,
The food
Yes,
gun's
What did you do
wrong.
the last time that you spotted him? Did something.
That was a
That
long
was
time
like-
ago, but yeah. Oh no, that was.
This is
Oh yeah, that
You
was
look
last
around.
time.
You look. This is a fairly cramped alleyway. You look up. You look around. You don't see anything anywhere. You don't see any bird
He might not have been able to follow us in there.
as you continue like walking out to the main street and making your way the same way that you'd come in, following the route that Badger had took. Still no sign of him. You
Okay.
come to the main street and you look around. Nothing. It is fairly dark, and even with your dark vision, like you can only see up to a certain distance. You're fairly confident that there's nothing there, but even then, like it's dark, it's dim shadows. You're not quite. You can't be fully certain that you're not being watched, but
Right.
you don't see him immediately. He's not cawing anywhere at you like
Sure.
he used to want to do. So
Okay. I was just curious.
come to the main street and begin making your way towards the Mushroom Lounge.
Yeah.
Mushroom.
Anything else you want to do on the way, or
I think we should keep our heads down. Not discuss what just happened.
Who has the potions?
I
He
do.
said
We'll
he
do
took
that.
them.
We'll do that after.
After?
Well, I'm not getting into a fight with Miralar, so.
I hope not.
I mean, yeah, we can
way,
divvy that
but-
up. What does everybody have in terms of I have 2 regular ones already on me. I can give those to people and then keep one of the bigger ones. Or I can. We have 3 greater healing potions. I have 2 regular ones I can distribute as
I
well.
have a single potion of healing.
I have a single potion.
I don't
I
have
don't
any.
have any.
Okay, I'll give you. You're our healer. I'll give you a big one for sure. So one of the greater ones. I'm actually going to give you one of the smaller ones as well.
Sure.
I will probably keep a greater one and then give the rest out. So that would mean there's 1 more greater and 2 more normal. I gave one. I
should
gave.
have a big one, I think.
Okay, so I'll give you the last greater, and then between you don't have any regular one.
Is it just potion of healing?
It's just called potion of healing, yeah. And then I'll just keep the dust until we need it. I don't think you need to tune the dust, right? You do. Okay, so I'll just hold it, and then we can use it.
If there's 2 patches of it, do you mind if I hold on to one?
you can
Oh,
spread
the
it.
dust?
Like,
Sure.
You can take out the powder and like split.
Okay,
it
well then,
into-
yeah, I'll give you 1 charge of the powder then. I get it. You don't trust a big lump like me. I get it.
Greater.
I was like,
not
how
a
did they
Playboy.
name it?
True.
I can't find my.
Guys, I think we got to be on our game tonight. Now, I know
We're not discussing the plan.
we're not discussing the plan. I'm
Okay.
just saying that last time you both got a little bit drunk.
They were very tasty, and I remember you had a few too.
I was totally fine, but you guys.
Again, we need to work on the
Probably
line,
be
but
right.
yes, we will be on our best.
You were all
it's-
under the influence of.
I mean, he did.
I was fine.
He did have Cornwall's finest ale.
I know, but you're gonna have to
Finest.
refrain from.
Yes, no ale.
Or just
Realistically,
No ale at all.
realistically,
That's
we
gonna look
probably
suspicious.
shouldn't say anything other than Arkmir discussing things,
I mean,
and we
isn't
should
that
be
going-
in and out as quickly as
Isn't
possible.
that going to be suspicious if
He's
I am
already
there
gonna- he's
and
been
he
wa-
offers me ale and I
No.
said no?
He's been
no
watching
ale.
us for like
You
a
can
week
have
and a
it, you
half,
can
2
have it.
weeks.
Just don't drink your body weight in ale.
Just don't do the normal timing approach.
Half is fine.
All right.
Yeah.
But yes, it should be discuss what you need to. We get in, we get out.
Do we need a message if things are not going well? Like you give us like a sign. That
We'll be all there together now.
Yes, we'll be there and know if it's not going well. Also, it should not go well, because we will die.
Forgot, did that, just clear talk, did that room have something that cut out messages or something weird about
They
it?
had
There's like some anti
dampening field. It like made magic weaker.
Okay.
It didn't like disable magic. It made it weaker.
And just to be clear, we have done what he's asked. It's not like we're trying to deceive him. We've already talked about the other thing we were asked to do, and we've
Well,
decided
we're going
not
in-
to.
We're going in completely expected, or going in with the hope that Miralar truly is a man of his word.
Yes.
He, probably
He
took
might
something-
offer us more work, which we could discuss. Just let's not sign any
see.
more life-altering contracts.
I don't think that was a choice
And
last
try
time.
not to press any buttons.
Try real hard.
Try really hard. And if we see a half-charred Furbolg man, or whatever he was, don't look at him weird, because he's been through a lot. We almost killed him, and he probably has had to have some cosmetic things done, and he might look a little weird to you guys. He might look like me, just smaller. No fur.
You just like fast forward in time. We're all cool, and you're just like.
Yeah. Be nice. Don't touch things. Don't accept any new
We're all
weird
here, and Big
deals.
One's just panicking. It's like, don't touch anything. Don't look at me. What?
100%. Yeah.
As you turn the corner of the street, and you can see off in the distance the Victorian-ish man.
I start freaking
from the
out
Mushroom
immediately.
Lounge.
No, I'm just kidding.
The
Oh my
iron
God.
barred gate and the wall, the two guards standing in front in smart attire. The gate is open. The lounge seems to
Damn
be.
it, I didn't wear my short shorts.
There's a few people who are actually walking through, which you can spot in the distance. The lounge seems to be open, and people are attending. It is early evening, probably around 5, 6ish.
Again, in, out.
I'm actually gonna roll my psychic whispers now. Get that.
Because there's something
I am going to morph my Glencoe's Chimera cape into like a very nice cloak.
I'll just put the monocle back on.
So for 5 hours, psychic whispers will be on. I guess I'll do it with Calthier, Astra, and I guess two.
Let's be honest here.
Well, Timon might be out intoxicated, so
No, we've told him not to.
No
What
problem.
if you perform better when you're intoxicated?
there'll be a big one here. This one.
As soon as you establish that, as we're still walking, in our heads, one thing that we did not discuss.
wouldn't
We
hear
It was
Actually,
just a
only
fly. It was
you
just a
hear it.
fly.
I only hear, so I would have to
hear-
like translate if I was going
no,
to.
I'm just specifically talking to you. One thing that we did not discuss, we're going to Ezekiel's to effectively claim our reward for providing him with Hezeric. He may ask of the others, which includes Drew. And he may ask if we know anything, and it may mean that you have to lie about or you can speak truthfully, but it's something I just wanted you to be prepared that it may come up.
It's not something that I did think about. Drew, I think I'd like to believe that she's moved on from where she is. That is information that I can, if Ezekiel cares about, I can share. I believe the contract was to just help with at least one of them.
For sure.
And
I
that
wrote
is
it
what I
down.
did.
That's what it said.
But I understand where you're coming from, and I wish to protect her, but I don't.
I wrote the contract down, and the very next line says, "A youth hits me in the head with a mud ball."
Damn youth.
Damn youth.
I trust that Drew knows how to take care of herself.
I'm sure she does. She seems very capable. I mean, unlikely anything should come of this, but if it does, we could always shoot her a message if that's something that you would like or not. We can. I'm not sure if you just want to cut ties with her as well and let her be on her own.
May I request, if something does come up, that you give her a heads up? I think,
Sure.
knowing Ezekiel, I don't think I would be the best person to attempt. No, I have a
No,
little
no,
walkie-talkie thing.
for sure. Yeah, that's all I wanted to bring up, just in case we hadn't really discussed that, and I don't think we don't really know anything about the other individual that he was looking for. I think, other than they may have fled the city.
Thank you, Kelsey.
Not fully understanding how this still works, I'm gonna try and speak to Hyman, but it's only gonna go to you, and you're just gonna hear, "Maybe I'll just have one beer with you."
I wasn't planning on drinking anything.
Oh shit.
You approach the front gate, and the two guards, fairly sharply dressed in almost like black coats of sorts.
Do you think the
They
mushroom
bulkier,
lounge
you
is in
can
the
tell
Mario world?
they've got armor underneath the coats.
Yes.
One of them eyes you over. You all here to attend a performance? What brings you here?
No! I mean, no. No.
We're here on special business for Miralar.
Oh, the boss? You wait here and we go in and check. Turns around and walks down the hall, like the long sort of pathway towards the
Mushroom Lounge,
door.
here we come.
I think I'm allergic to
opens the door and
mushrooms. I'm
goes
getting
inside.
vibes.
Oh no.
Is it what time of day is it?
Lady, sorry, not
Like
lady.
5, 6
early
-ish?
evening.
Yeah.
Like 6.
Dinner. Pre-dinner.
Dinner time.
Opens the door and goes inside.
I'm just gonna nod.
break.
We all wait probably another 2, 3.
Anything
4
look
minutes.
different about the lounge since the last time we were here? Any like extra security or?
Yeah, it looks about the
No, the
same.
same.
I look at the other guard. Are you new here?
He doesn't reply.
Didn't see you here the last time.
He doesn't reply.
That's very rude.
And, an older couple just walks up behind you all. Is just waiting there now.
Wait your turn.
I forgot to mention that I was gonna, and then have a fancy ball gown with poofy shoulders.
We're not doing that this time.
I'm going
A bunch of us just regular outfits.
with like long gloves.
Nice.
Poofy sleeves.
Are you dragging dead birds again?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the camp's made of dead birds.
A few minutes later, the door opens and the guard comes back down. He walks up and looks at you. And by now, there's like 4 or 5 groups of people who are kind of lined up. He turns to the other guard. Just pull them to the side. Let the other folks in. Go. Anyways, you can go in.
Oh.
You can go in. I believe Miss Lovelace will meet you on the floor.
Okay.
You all
Walk in.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I actually messaged it. Remember, she does start performing. Just have to avoid that situation.
I'll say it in your head. I do have metal earplugs if you need them.
What's I don't know how those work.
They're like corkscrews.
Okay.
You make your way through the gates into the sort of walled courtyard. Walk up the path to the few steps that lead you to the front door of the Mushroom Land. The door opens and lets you in, and small hallway later, you find yourself standing in the familiar, dimly lit fungal glow of the sort of performance room.
The Mushroom
the main room.
Lounge.
Of the lounge.
Lounge.
A familiar half-orc approaches you. Yes, may I get you a table? Sirs, madam?
Wherever Lyra will have us.
Oh, you were to meet Miss Lovelace. Sure. She did mention that people would be coming. So he turns around and starts walking. Oh, follow me. He leads you to the side of the stage, where the curtains kind of are. He pulls one of the curtains aside. Please go ahead and meet her in her backstage chambers.
Backstage pass. Sweet.
You all step through into a small and this time well lit hallway. Stone walls of sorts. A few torches, a few paintings scattered about. Nothing very precisely a figure, or almost like abstract shapes of sorts. There's a door off to the side, which is open, and as you look through, you see a rather comfortable sitting chamber. Not anywhere near as lavish as Ezekiel's upstairs.
He didn't want us in the room to press buttons again.
Is there a mirror?
There is no mirror.
I instantly break it.
There is a small, almost like a shelf of dresses that are hanging from it, almost like a clothes rack of sorts. The couch is fairly comfortable. There's a small fire lit on the side, a chimney. Above the chimney, there's a painting that's very artistically done of Lyra Lovelace from just the waist up.
Would you say this is her green room?
That's kind of the vibe that you get. And as you enter, you see sitting on one of the tables, or not one of the tables, sitting on one of the couches near this coffee table
Gerald?
is Lyra Lovelace.
Oh.
Her pale white skin, red hair. She seems
really
a
good
little
to
bit
see
more
you.
relaxed than when she's normally performing or when you've met her in the past. It seems like this is sort of more of her vibe and just she's more at home here. She looks to all of you. Oh, Mr. Croft, welcome. I'm pleased to see that you're still well. And all of you, of course, please come and have a seat. Is there anything I can get you all to drink?
Nope, that is okay.
I'll have a Nancy Shrew.
I'm not quite familiar with that. Dimitri, and the half-orc who you thought had left, peeks through the door. Can you ask the bartender if he can make a Nancy Shrew?
That's right.
You mentioned. Would you like any additions to that? Any of our concoctions, so to speak?
No, thank you. Just 6 maraschino cherries and a funny straw.
I don't think I've really heard of those, but I'll ask the bartender if they know.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Would you care to drink?
Do you have Ward 8 water? No, I'm okay.
I didn't
it's
know
okay.
Ward 8 had. There was something special about Ward 8's
best.
water.
Love the taste of desperation.
Yeah.
And can you get an Umber Heart for me, please? Thank you.
I ask for one of the
You try to
ales.
find
I'm trying to find the name. I forgot the name.
It's got to be around there.
Black
The
mushroom,
apple thing.
Yeah.
Is it the black mushroom thing? Or?
that was
No.
the
That's the Umber Heart.
Oh, okay. Or was it the golden? Is it golden?
Golden Globe is
well, that's,
apple.
That's another
The,
drink, though. Yeah, I like the
hallucination-y
mushroom one.
Or it wasn't Golden Globe. I thought it was Golden Globe, but it was actually
Well-
something else.
While we're
Please,
waiting
have a
on
seat.
drinks,
She gestures to the couch.
Oh, thank you.
I was under the impression that we'd be meeting with Miralar today. Seems like
We will.
Okay.
Well, I'll take you down upstairs. First, I do have a few matters to discuss myself. If you don't mind.
No.
You see, I have been mostly the one that Mr. Miralar has tasked with keeping an eye on you, so to speak. I couldn't help but notice that you had visited a mutual friend of ours, Miss Garnett, I believe she goes by. I would like to know what happened at this meeting, and if you would enlighten me. How is she doing?
I mean, I don't know everything, but she appeared to be doing well. It's actually quite interesting that you bring her up, because I think, as you called her a mutual friend, she's very interested in meeting up with you. Maybe at her upcoming party, actually.
I have been thinking of attending. Of course, Mr. Miralar doesn't usually afford me the benefit of departure.
Are you really under... Do you really have to listen to Miralar?
I do.
I'm sorry.
Inside check.
Make no sense.
Oh, the pain. 13. We get it.
What's that?
The ring. Obviously, we get it. La 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 la.
This whisper is brought to you by Syrinscape.
Oh, yeah.
Not a partner, but we like them a lot.
I can't find the goddamn ale name.
The only one I wrote down was the apple thing. The golden.
Interesting. Well, I guess you are, not to cut to the point, but my understanding was if we had helped both you and Miralar find one of these three, I guess, bandits, maybe we'll call them.
Loose ends.
Loose ends, better. Thank you, baby. That's... I would be able to have this spell removed. And as it was you that placed it on me, just like to know, are we going to do that now, or shall we wait for Miralar?
I'll wait for him to give me the order, and we can do it in his presence so that he knows that all is well. You notice that she's wearing this, like, very similar but a bit darker blue dress than what you saw her wearing before. Fairly buttoned up, with longish sleeves draping over, got like gloves on her hands.
Ready to perform.
She is getting ready to perform.
Well, Miralar is not here. I don't know if I'd like to say, but are you in a safe space?
You know, it's interesting. I would really... I wanted to leave and see more of the world, so to speak. But this is safe, and there's... It's not like there's a shortage of things to do and people to meet. New people come and visit me every day.
But would it not be just as interesting if you were able to visit people? Wherever they were?
It would. Maybe someday. The drinks arrive, the Dimitri brings over. He finds a bottle of the ale from Cornwall,
Oh, excellent.
as well as an umber drink for Lyra, as well as a drink with some cherry soaked in it.
Oh, yes, Nancy shoes. Thank you. Just how they're usually made.
Very well. Miss Lovelace, is there anything else I can do?
Keep it coming.
Thank you. Will do. Lyra turns to him and says, no, that'll be all. If you want to go upstairs and inform Gerald to come down and grab us in a while, I think we should be good to go in a few minutes.
Are you performing now? Or?
No, I'm not performing tonight.
Oh, you seem... Or maybe you just seemed awfully dressed up.
It's a presentation of sorts, so go out with the crowd, mingle, meet, learn some things. More so my normal role.
Oh.
So, did you say Gerald is coming down? Big Gerald? Furry Gerald?
Yes. I believe you all do have some history with him.
How is he doing?
I think he's fine.
Oh, thank God. He's not angry, not holding a grudge.
No, I don't think he could. Don't really know a kinder soul, to be honest.
Oh.
Inside check.
Oh, I believe her.
Could be the nicest guy. He's just
We just
Doing
sent
his
him.
job.
21.
maybe he needs to do his job, take care of his family.
I'll send you a message.
Okay.
He's a father of 4
Yeah.
little kids.
He adopted them.
Yeah, they were
They were orphans, yeah.
And he runs an orphanage.
On the side, after this job,
Yeah.
he goes.
Yeah, he runs double shifts.
Yeah.
I want his weapon still, though.
I sent you a message.
Um,
So, you visited Miss Garnett. Why exactly?
it's more like she had requested my attendance. To be
I do have
honest,
to admit, you and her associate Salvier arriving on the same day, it's rare enough to see one tiefling with your special countenance, so to speak, the eyes.
Very unsettling, right?
Quite, right?
Don't mean nothing to it.
But two in the same day, as well as the similarities with Lady Garnett, at least in her public appearances that we met her. She has visited a few times, and I couldn't help but notice a striking similarity. Now, is there something that you would like to tell me about? Any relationship? Any allegiance? Make a wisdom or charisma saving throw.
oh my god.
She's peering into your mind.
Yeah. Let's see if I have anything that helps me with these. Not.
Maybe you're allergic to coffee.
I think it's the book because
Maybe.
there's like lines of habits. I think it's the pages.
That's a 4.
Can you use your dice on saving throws? I don't think so, right?
I don't think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
You feel compelled
mean,
to
we-
tell her the truth.
We didn't
You
agree
can't
to a
lie
relationship
to her,
with her, though, so.
Right. Yeah.
Magically. That's it.
Okay. I'm trying to remember all the details from that conversation.
The main one is we didn't actually strike an allegiance with them. So you can
Yeah.
tell her whatever, but that is a big point. If anything, we
You're not-
talked against it.
I have to tell her the truth,
You have to tell her the truth.
but
You
I don't have to
No
spew
more.
everything.
No, you
Yeah.
don't have to just
That's the
fucking
thing.
spit
Yep.
everything you...
So what was? Sorry, what was the question?
What exactly did you go to see Lady Garnett about? And but she basically was like, I couldn't help but notice the similarities between you, Salvier,
Yep.
Lady Garnett. Is there anything between you all? Are you associated with her? She's kind of going along. along that line. I don't remember the exact words I used.
We are, as you can see, part of the same group. I did approach Lady Garnett as an alternative for trying to remove this spell that you put on me. I hope you don't fault me for that, but this is a very scary, serious spell. Needless to say, Lady Garnett was, while she was able to inform me of the, the type of spell, she was not able to remove it.
Indeed.
And
so, since Miss Garnett has informed you of the rather different nature of my magic, you can lay our cards on the table a little bit more. How can I help you? And she unbuttons her collar.
Yeah,
And begins to undo the top 2 or 3 buttons of her dress.
Everyone out of the room.
Yeah.
As she unbuttons the second one, immediately in front of your eyes, it's a bright blue, piercing glow that emanates. And as she unbuttons it and pulls the collar apart, you can see a crystal, jagged just along her sternum.
Oh shit!
Does it look like the things?
Glowing.
Yeah, was it like Teddy's?
It looks very similar.
But it's in her chest?
It's grafted in her chest.
Nice. Gonna have to get nice close to that. Get that out of there. Blue.
It's the same
the
color
crystal.
as Teddy's. I don't remember what the.
It was like an icy
iridescent,
blue.
almost like
It was like an icy blue.
blue.
Yeah. Nice.
Oh, did that hurt to put there?
A bit.
Oh, it's very lovely.
It is. And
I
as she
have my
says
ear
that,
pierced.
all of you in your head hear her say, "It is."
Mm-hmm.
Well,
She can do that too.
don't mind me asking,
Power.
were you able to... Obviously you have been following me. You've been able to see things that have been happening. Did you get to see us with Lady Garnett?
I was able to see you all in her mansion, but I wasn't able to know of any specifics of your conversation, so to speak.
I think you need to have a conversation with her. She very much would like to talk to you.
I'm sure she would, but I'm a little bit preoccupied these days. Now, the reason that I wanted to speak with you all in private before you went upstairs to speak with Mr. Miralar Ezekiel doesn't seem right. Something's wrong with him.
I knew it.
He spent the past week or 2 complaining about nightmares, about voices. He's obsessed with something. He's barely helped with any of the running of the lounge or the Govindalis. I've been carrying the brunt of the load. When you're up there talking to him, that's one of the few opportunities I'll get to talk to him. I want you to try and suss out any information about what's wrong, any details, anything that you can get him to say, any information you can help me understand more of what's going on with him.
Does Miralar keep you away from him normally?
He does.
Quite the interesting relationship you two have.
You wouldn't know the half of it.
If you don't mind me asking, what's
stopping you from removing the spell now versus after?
While you have the spell, you're still incentivized to go upstairs and talk to him. If I was to remove it, you would simply leave. And I'd be right back where I was before you arrived.
That's fair enough. Well, is there anything else that you would like us, or anything else that you can tell us that would maybe help?
The gnome that you dealt with, dispatched? How would you put it?
Hezerick?
Hezerick, yes, that was his name, I believe. Did you find anything on him? Any details on who he'd been talking to? Any schematics? Any project?
Did find a set of schematics in a vault.
Wait, you can't lie, so you have to.
Yeah, I have to, yeah.
Didn't he also have like a letter to Ezekiel or something that was like, if you found this, I'm dead?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I may just have the schematic on me, so.
I don't remember the schematic.
I wouldn't know much of it, but Hezerick was a defector, a coward. He deserved what was coming for him.
We had a tattoo as well.
I had a journal, letters to Hezerick, and schematics of a machine.
With a small eye tattoo open on his right wrist and a closed one on his left.
Yes. Yeah, do those...
It
sounds
was
good
the
when you
eye
feel
open
talking
was
about that.
tattooed around something. Well, it depends if you want to share it. I'm not sharing it. Saying what we saw on him.
I'm going to describe the tattoos the big one mentioned, but did those mean anything to you?
Yes. She takes off one of her gloves, and underneath it there's a tattoo. It's not. I think it's the eye open one that was.
The eye open one was tattooed over something to cover something.
Right. It looks kind of like scales of sort, but also kind of like an eye.
Dragons.
Okay.
Not those type of scales, like a balance, like justice.
Right. Oh, that makes
But it
kind of makes sense.
also looks a little bit like an eye.
And she has it too. Okay.
Hezerick was one of us. He was... I believe he was helping Ezekiel with something. But he defected. And now he's dead. Well, now the cards are plainly put on the table. Tell me, before we go upstairs, is there anything you all would ask of me? She gets the button.
Where did you get that?
The painful process. Grafted in me when I was very young.
Miralar knows you have it?
Yes.
How long have you been with Miralar?
I've been with Mr. Miralar for my entire life.
Do you ever leave the lounge? Your skin look a little pasty.
Huh?
Vague.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
Do you ever leave the lounge? Your skin look a little pasty.
That's not nice.
I've ventured downstairs a few times.
Lyra, you said your entire life, but which life?
I've been with Mr. Miralar for almost 20 years. Give or take. Maybe a bit.
And
There was a brief period of time where I wasn't with him, but I digress.
And I'm under the impression that you are, well, much older than the 20 years that you've been together with Miralar.
Is that accurate?
No.
Insight check.
Make an insight check.
Oh, interesting.
I need you.
I'll message it.
I love to have the advantage on insight.
Now, does Miralar have anything that helps him stay alive, if you know what I mean?
Garnet. She doesn't understand. Nobody lives forever. All of us, everyone, has their weaknesses. She thinks that she can cheat death somehow. That doesn't mean the rest of us can. There might be ways around it, circumvent it, but if death was to come for any of us, it would. Ezekiel Miralar, while powerful, I'm sure there are ways for him to die. In fact, I think part of him is dead already.
Are you more powerful than Miralar?
No.
In your head, you just hear me say, I'll leave this to your judgment, but does it make sense to ask anything of our other endeavor?
Sorry, she asked me if it makes sense to ask. Yeah.
I said I'll leave it to you.
Ezekiel Miralar is a powerful man. But he, like all men, has a weakness. His weakness is his inability to grasp opportunity by its hand. He is content with the safety of this ward, with where he is. But I'm ambitious.
Did something change recently, though? It appears as if Miralar is going beyond, beyond the scope of Ward 3.
Ezekiel Miralar cares about nothing more than his safety and the safety of his people.
What do you care about?
Yeah, what do you want?
I want to seize the city by any means necessary.
I take that look I said, don't say anything. Ezekiel would be fine simply safely living in this ward, serving out justice to those who have wronged him, keeping him and his people and me and all of us in this ward safe.
Big bad evil.
Over the past year or so, I've managed to become a little more involved in his day-to-day works, and some of those ideas that you attribute as changes to Miralar's behavior may have come from me.
Are you the cause of his nightmares?
No. That's why I'm worried that perhaps he has more than one voice in his ear now.
Interesting.
Now, I would like to know what he's working on underground, what he's so obsessed with, why he spends weeks not speaking to anybody, and when he does, he speaks only of madness and whispers.
What is this about? What he's working on underground?
A long time ago, him and Hezerick discovered something underground. Hezerick defected shortly thereafter, replacing countless wards and protections around it. One of which, the largest of which, you all dispatched with on your last visit here. Ever since you all visited, Ezekiel's been down there almost every day, not appearing back for weeks.
So he's obsessed with whatever's down there.
Yes.
Who's the statue of?
That would be Ezekiel's other weakness. His sense of justice.
So he's not Batman.
And his wife.
Oh.
Her name was Rubena.
Mind spelling that?
Rubenna. She was a member of the Ordo Draconis. A soldier of justice.
Order of Draconis.
We heard that before.
Sure have.
They cool.
I don't remember.
Me.
Wasn't Tisha part of it?
Unfortunately, she died.
Dead?
Roughly 20 years ago.
When you met?
You could say that.
Did you kill her?
You could say.
Maybe in a way.
Are you Ruben?
No.
And does Miralar know that?
Yes.
You see. Do you know what that book means to him? When we were in that room together, he obviously made a large effort to get that back.
Ezekiel Miralar has a long and complicated history, so to speak. I believe that book is a relic of his past. A journal of sorts, perhaps. I've never read it.
Is he from here? Or did he come from somewhere else?
No, he's not from here. Neither of us is, to be honest.
Where are you from?
I met Mr. Miralar in Icefall. He's from there too, I believe.
Where are you from originally?
Make a persuasion check.
Can't wait until she says north.
Nat 20.
18.
I'm also from Icefall.
Oh, nice.
Is it cold there?
Very. Well, it depends. Up on the mountains, it's quite cold. The lake, not that bad.
Not very creative with the name.
What are your thoughts on maybe working with Lady Garnet?
I don't trust her. I actually trust Ezekiel a lot more. The only real problem with Ezekiel is his inaction. In terms of his capability and his trustworthiness, his loyalty, I have no complaints.
Why are you trusting, I guess, me in this case?
And forgive me and don't get mad, but why should we trust you? How do we know that you
You
won't
don't
just...
have to.
Oh, that's fair.
I mean, we barely know Miralar.
We don't know anything.
What do you think we can help with this?
Just get him talking. Just get him talking about what's downstairs.
No. Why do you trust me?
Because I know that if I needed to, I could kill you with a word.
That's not necessary.
That's when I do the WandaVision thing and sew her mouth shut. That's when she screams, her head explodes.
Are you telling me that you will not free me?
I will free you once we have spoken to Miralar and he asks me to.
Tonight?
If he asks me to tonight, I will do whatever he says. I don't usually have much of a choice with that.
He holds sway over you.
Very much. I owe my life to him.
Can't really see if that is gratitude or imprisonment.
A little of both. There are times where I feel like these walls are closing in and they're a prison. But I do appreciate that he has kept me safe and well fed, well cared for. If it weren't for him, I wouldn't have the powers and the influence that I have. So it's a mutually beneficial relationship, you could say. I will say this. Don't trust a single word Lady Garnett says. She is not to be trusted. She is cunning, conniving, and she has dark secrets from what I've heard. I've heard most of you speak. You, my pale friend, have remained mostly silent. What's your story? Don't mind me asking.
Good luck.
There's not too much to me. I wander and I learn.
What do you think of Ezekiel Miralar?
I think he's a powerful man. Not someone you want to cross.
But his sense of idealized justice, by all means, it has its merit. Those who do crimes and those who do wrong must be punished and brought to justice. Is that not true?
I think he abides by his own law. Whichever law that is, he sticks to it, which is somewhat commendable. But I think some laws are maybe created by the wrong people with the wrong intention. Blindly following those could cause problems.
It's just food for thought. Ezekiel Miralar, well, many things. His past is checkered, for sure. At his heart, he believes he's doing good. Lady Garnett holds no such qualms. Do not trust her.
Are you in love with Ezekiel?
Yes.
No.
Do you think he loves you?
Probably.
I know. Who would?
Sometimes I doubt it. Anyways, maybe go upstairs and meet Mr. Miralar.
Lead the way.
This is empty anyway.
Very well. And as she stands up, she's...
Before we go, actually, Miralar has his ways of maybe getting, like, learning whatever he wants to know. Is there anything that you would be able to do to help protect us in this conversation with him?
No. There's absolutely nothing I can do to stop Ezekiel Miralar from doing whatever he wants.
Any tips you want to give us? Like talking points that we should avoid? Things that he's really sensitive about?
It depends if he's even speaking any sense today, or if not.
I see.
Something is wrong. I would like nothing more than to bring things back to the way they were, where I could simply do my thing, expand influence, gain control over more of Ward 8, more of Ward 4, spread into Ward 5, perhaps even go meet Lady Garnett, spread some seeds into Ward 2. Like nothing more than that. Unfortunately, I have to do what he says. And right now, his last command was to leave him alone. This is the only opportunity I've had in a week to speak to him. I will take it, and we will go meet him. Very well.
After you.
She stands up. And she stands up, her posture, which had kind of slunk into very similarly, almost like a cunning, sort of like scheming, almost like Lady Garnett in some manner or shape. As she stands up, it falls again into like a demure, almost like innocent, waifish look and personality. She begins to walk towards the door. Come, friends. She walks out the door and leads you out into the main floor of the Mushroom Lounge as you finish off the drinks. You do notice she didn't drink her
Umber ale or whatever.
Yeah. He leads you to the right side, through the stairs leading up to the second floor, the private sort of floor, and past that up to the third floor, to Ezekiel Miralar's office. Standing in front of the door, you notice a large hyena-looking figure with armor, carrying a similar, like a familiar large flail of sorts, a 3-pronged flail.
So cool.
Burn marks?
No, it was perfectly fine.
No burn marks.
No.
Like he's never touched.
He looks and
Dipped into
sees
some of that
Lyra.
Miralar
Lyra
juice.
turns to, yes, Gerald, we have guests. No. He turns and like slams on the door a couple of times,
Oh, no snarling? Did he snarl?
and then just waits.
But he's such a nice guy.
Yeah.
He looks at all of you, narrows his eyes. He slams the door again a couple of times, and the door opens. And you walk into the familiar lounge with the glass window, the fancy bar on the right side.
Has anything changed in the room?
It looks messier. One of the couches has like a almost blanket draped across it that hasn't been picked up. There's almost like scratch marks on the floor. You can see.
Okay.
Kinky.
Looks like off in one corner there's. Make a perception check, actually.
Oh, rip.
Can I assist in that?
It's
Around?
is it an intelligence?
I think both of you can just make a perception check.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Perception's wisdom.
Well, with this same slap doesn't get mad at me. 26.
Yeah, 10.
Arkmir, you're distracted by looking towards the table, and I'll tell you what you see in a bit. Kalthir, you look around. You can see that a lot of the room is kind of tousled, and there's almost like reddish stains on the wall.
What does it smell like in here?
Reddish stage. Oh god.
Make a perception check with advantage for the smell.
15.
Oh, you don't have any modifier.
Me too. We're not wise at all.
Yeah.
It smells weird. It's hard to pinpoint. Smells like a combination of like
Sex, drugs, alcohol, blood.
alcohol, definitely. Blood, faintly. Like the ozone-ish electrical smell that you're used to from your workshop a little bit. Oil, a little bit.
Shaft.
Just gonna freak you with.
It's weird. You
Clank
notice these reddish streaks, almost. What else did you notice?
Everything. The trap door. Beneath the carpet.
You turn back to there's a table in Arkmir. You see, sitting at the table, almost with his head buried in his hands, the large and imposing figure of Ezekiel Miralar. His clothing looks fairly disheveled. His attire looks musty in some ways. On the table in front of him is sitting the large hammer, flail, two-handed weapon that you've seen in the past. Definitely stained with blood. You just see him sitting there. Come in. Come in. You notice, Kaltir, on the table in front of him, there's a small device of sorts. It looks like it's some sort of artifice construction, but you're not quite clear what it could be for. You're not an artificer. You notice it barely before Ezekiel kind of like shoves it into a drawer,
If only we had
along with some of the other papers that are on there.
I wouldn't see it.
He was too busy smelling the walls.
Yeah.
The Iron Will, I believe. Yes. How can I help you?
I believe the last time we were here was under unfortunate circumstances, but I believe we had struck a deal that I could help you in return.
Oh,
This
yes,
curse.
yes. The loose ends, right?
Correct.
Who was it? Who was it? He like closes his eyes.
Hezerick.
Hezerick, yes. Yes, I believe some of my men picked up his remains. He has been dealt with. I appreciate your expediency in resolving the matter. I believe I can give you some payment. And he like looks down and ruffles through. He pulls out. It looks like a bag that seems really light, and he tosses it towards you. You catch it. It doesn't have any coins in it.
It's gonna turn upside down.
A bunch of feathers fall out of it.
Oh.
That's not for you. No, please.
I'll gather it
Can you
up.
pick up the feathers, please? Thank you. He takes the pouch, puts it away. Here, and he hands you like a small jewel, like a small black,
My dress.
like onyx jewel.
This is great and all, but Miralar, this spell, I won't be able to do anything with this jewel if I'm not alive.
What's up? Lyra at this point has kind of walked in. Yes, Mr. Miralar, you had asked me to make sure that they did as you commanded. Yes, remove it. They've done their job. Were there any other loose ends that sent you after?
There were three, but I believe our contract was to at least get one.
Very well. He immediately, he turns his focus to the big one. He looks at you. Huh. You're the big one, correct?
Yes.
Part of you.
Oh,
You're from Ward 1?
yes, many.
You're
we've
an
met,
artificer?
but I would categorize myself, yes.
How much do you know about the lightning storms?
Not a lot, to be honest with you. We've had some information, but that's about it. There's still a lot we don't know. As far as I'm aware, there's a lot Schema's not quite sure about them.
That's disappointing. Have you heard of anybody hearing things?
What, can you elaborate? Hearing things as in what?
The storms, sending messages, seeing things, hearing things.
Not to my knowledge. I mean, the only person I've really spoke about would be my father, but...
Very well. Yes, Lyra, you can remove the spell.
I want to make sure this gets done.
Don't bother me. And Lyra turns to you. Very well. And she begins to cast the spell.
Maybe.
A couple of about a minute passes, and the spell finishes casting. You should be free.
Should be free?
I've removed the enchantment.
Okay.
And if I guess I think about during the way that I've done before that hurt me, does it still?
Yeah, you think about it.
You know what I mean.
It hurts you on an emotional level because you had to let her go.
Don't feel anything.
Don't feel anything? Oh yeah.
Drew and I ride into the sunset.
Mr. Miralar, forgive me for being so bold, but you look a little worse than the last time we saw you. You seem to be a little preoccupied. Is everything okay? What the sudden interest with the lightning storms? You didn't mention this the last time we met.
Just passing thoughts, thinking about things. I had a dream, so to speak. And in this dream, I was somewhere else. I was home, and I haven't been home in a very long time. In fact, I don't think I would be welcome at home, but I was there.
That's all? I mean, you just had a dream that you were home?
Is home not schema for you? I guess it's not, but...
No.
Where's home, if you don't mind me asking?
I can't tell you.
Do you think that this dream had something to do with the lightning storms?
I think so.
Were you in a lightning storm?
No. I haven't left. Well, I haven't been outside. I haven't seen the sun in 20 years, give or take.
Wow.
What are the messages that the storms are sending?
They're not sending any messages. There was a dream that I had. In the dream, I heard voices, and voices said, "Come to the storm. Come to the storm." Now, I don't leave home, so I haven't yet. Maybe. Or have I? Hard to tell.
Do you want to go into one of these storms?
No. I want to stay here. I want to keep my people safe. I want to keep Lyra safe.
How's Lyra looking?
She's like hanging on to every word that he's saying.
Are you?
He just like holds his head.
What do you need to? I guess is keeping everyone safe a concern for you right now?
Yes. Yes. There is something. There's something down below. There's something down below, and it scares me, and I don't like being scared.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! It's
Down below, like your dungeon, or down below?
maybe this
Down
will bring
below
up
the
a,
city.
oh.
What
Is
do
that
you
the
mean?
monster?
Yeah, forgive me, this might sound like a stupid statement, but we took care of that scorpion. Take care is a very odd way of putting it, but is that what you're referring to?
Down below the sea.
Don't know. I think Hezerick knew more than he was letting on. He left that there to keep whatever was inside.
Hazrick left the scorpion?
Yes. He built it. I went down after you dispatched of it. Found some of his works. Found what he was working on. That used to be his workshop, so to speak.
What else
There
did
was
you
a
find?
tunnel. A tunnel that went deep.
Oh. I've known schema and know a lot of the ins and outs of it. I've not heard of something buried deep beneath the city or...
You're saying Hezerick kept this secret from you? This tunnel?
Don't remember. I think I might have told him to do something. I don't remember. I think I might have gone down there. I think I went down after you removed the scorpion. I don't remember. I remember.
Can we be of help down there?
His eyes almost like glaze over for a moment. And he looks over at Lyra. And Lyra looks back at him. If you wish to help, you can. But I think I'm supposed to go down there. I'm afraid, though. I've never been afraid, ever. But I think I'm supposed to go down there. So I think I will. Lyra, send them away. I've got business to attend to. He literally just ignores you, picks up the hammer, presses the button under his table.
Just goes out and he falls.
Causes the shelf behind him to open.
When he talks about that, do I know anything about like something hidden underneath the city, or like a protector of the city underneath the city, or something
Make a
that?
history check.
Okay. 20, dirty 20.
You have no idea.
You see.
So he just walks out right now?
He turns around and walks through the spiraling staircase that you remembered going down the last time.
So who's in the room right now?
It's Lyra, and she's just like holding, like her fists are clenched, and she's looking at him. Fuck.
Sounds like he says he wants to protect you.
He does.
What could be down there?
Would he hurt you if you went down after him?
I don't think so.
But before you do that, our friend has a real bad headache.
Should you remove that?
You remove that.
But sure.
Do you have any Advil?
She drank a few too. The mushroom
No.
things again.
We are not sponsored by Big Pharma.
No. Is that a new type of mushroom that I haven't heard of?
Never mind,
Anyways,
it's okay. No.
She likes making up words like her drink. So don't
It's
mind
made
that.
up.
Sure, lads, sure.
I don't know what he's up to. It's dangerous down there, whatever it is. But I think I'm gonna have to go after him. Without him, this whole thing falls apart.
I'm gonna send something into your head, the connection, and just say, could the tunnel that Half-Step be this tunnel?
I think it very much is.
Fuck.
Probably all leave.
Livetstar did say that they would have a direct. He did. I think he said that, right? Like there would be like the Gabagools would have a direct link down there, and that he only said that he thinks that the railway would lead us there. I think. Should we be going in after him? In your head. Because Miralar genuinely looks terrified there.
This might just be our best opportunity to go investigate and
And you're sure you're clear of this spell? Think Drew naked.
yeah. Oh, I have.
I already have.
It appears that way. I mean, there's nothing to say that Lyra didn't do a little switcheroo, but it appears the old spell is going.
Because if something's down there, and it is terrifying, having Miralar and Lyra on our side might not be the worst thing.
At least in this current situation, it seems like they are. Whatever's down there, though, it's a little scary. If something happens to Miralar, I'm a little worried about what happens with Lyra.
We do have that thing Livetstar gave us, the rim job, right?
I forget, does that transport people in the vicinity as well? Is that what you said?
It's
Then
like
10
10 feet.
Oh, damn.
We just get 10 feet away and then say goodbye. That's it. No more
I
Miralar.
want to put it on a ring.
Oh.
Lyra at this point, it's like, I need to go. She like opens the door. Gerald, the boss is downstairs. Go rally them. Find them downstairs. Make sure everyone's ready for whatever's happening. Whatever's happening. I don't know. Just get everyone ready. She seems almost like a different person now. Almost like a war general. Like she's giving out orders like second nature to her.
Like she's done this for over 20 or more than 20 years.
Yeah.
Could say. Or not. Who knows? I'm gonna go down there. I think I can stop him. Whatever he's doing.
I think if it's alright with everyone here, maybe we'll follow.
Yeah, I don't have other plans.
We're loosened up by the Nancy Drew.
You say you want to go down there to stop
Or
him.
Nancy Shrew.
That's true.
What if there's something else that you're not aware of down there that you would have to help stop?
I hope not. But all we can do is take a leap of faith.
For no real reason at all, we might tag along.
Sure, if you insist.
That word. I'm getting good at this.
Be forewarned, though, if anything was to happen, my focus will be on my own safety and Ezekiel's safety.
We'll be giving out rim jobs, it's okay.
Just gonna maybe message Cal there and there. That's like interesting how much Lyra is worried about Miralar's safety right now while she wants him gone.
Maybe he's scared of half step.
Or maybe there's a bond between them right now that holds. No.
No. I think there's more to them
Yeah.
than just friendship.
Maybe she can't survive if he can't survive. Are we going in a dungeon? I feel like this is a faster route than. Should we tell Livetstar we're not meeting with Booth? Or just leave Booth hanging? Yeah.
Can I have another warning? But you
You turn around and you look at the fancy bar and there's like another bottle.
God damn it, we told you.
Just out of reach of you. Who's just like just out
He
of reach of you.
performs
It's
better
like,
under
ah,
the
yeah.
influence.
Just out of my reach?
Just like serious stares and time.
It's
I
just like
Yeah, that's
6 feet up. You can see it.
You have no idea what's being said.
Are we ready for this?
I'm like,
I mean, I guess we don't
what
even
the
really
hell?
know what this is.
Are you saying that out loud or to him? Okay.
You said you always
I'll
relay
get
the
to it,
message,
yeah.
but
Big one
Big one
says.
says,
yeah.
"Are we ready for this?"
Hey, Tymond.
Aye.
I'll walk over and grab it for him.
You have my eternal love.
Do you want to smash things?
It's the second prettiest thing you ever told me. Yes.
Power Rangers.
I don't know. I saw that once. I don't know if we put our hands in or anything like that.
Lara opens the door and walks downstairs.
Oh boy.
Oh, she just goes back down the way we came up. I see.
Gerald isn't there anymore. Gerald, you're once again find yourself alone, unsupervised in this room.
I look around. Is there anything to grab?
They gotta stop doing this.
You'd have to like spend a little bit of time.
No,
doing it.
we're not here for that. We're
But
not
like the door still, not the door out, but like the door to go down.
No, he closed
is-
it behind him.
Oh, he closed it behind him. Okay. I mean, we know how to open it.
Yeah. So
This might. I'll say it quietly once they've all.
But wait, when he pressed it, did it not like shut off everything down below?
it did.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
He
didn't
know.
care.
He just did
Yeah.
it without caring.
Yeah, he just didn't give a shit.
And as the door closed, it turned back on.
So once they've left, once Lila left, once Gerald's gone, I'll be like, this might be a fast ticket to half step. We could get more answers than we realize.
He seemed interested in you being an artificer.
Should I be buddies with him?
I'm gonna go to his desk. Not pushing a button, but I open the
God damn it,
drawer.
not again.
Inside the drawer, there's a few scattered pieces of paper and a small arcane device of sorts. Magitech. Clearly Magitech.
What you got there?
You wouldn't know what this is. No, so hold it in front of you here.
You don't immediately recognize what it is. It looks almost like a small radio receiver of sorts,
Okay.
but it doesn't have any dial or anything on it. It doesn't have any way of controlling it. It seems it doesn't even have a power source to it.
Hello.
Nothing happens.
What if I pull out a little power thing and connect it to something else I have? Does it turn it on?
Depending on what you're plugging it into.
The repulsor cylinder
Do
juice.
you have a repulsor cylinder juice on you?
I don't know. We took the device thing, did we not? The empty one?
I don't think you're still
Well,
carrying it with
not-
you. That would be very big.
Oh, I thought we were this entire time. Maybe we weren't.
I mean, one thing that I know for sure is that I didn't give away any of my weapons, any of my armor. Unlike the last time that we
Oh
walked
yeah,
into
no.
here.
This
yeah.
time we have everything.
I always thought we were just carrying it, but I guess not.
We definitely didn't leave it anywhere.
Maybe we did.
You don't see or hear anything.
Okay.
What are the rest of you doing?
I'm down me an ale.
There's nothing else I imagine I'd find in that table.
You'd have to spend a little bit of time, like, actually investigating the room. If you're willing to spend, like, a few minutes doing that, you might find something, but sure. Okay, make an investigation check.
I'm looking at the red smearings on the ground.
Looks like blood.
Okay. Does it look like it's splattered or it's like smeared?
It looks like it's smeared. It's not like a splatter of sort.
And no writing of the blood?
No, it looks almost like a smeared streak of sorts.
Okay.
Probably, it's also fairly high up. It's almost near the ceiling.
That's weird.
19.
You look around. You don't find anything specific. You do find a few notes. Most of the writing here is in Celestial, and the writing is not as neat and easy to read as you would think. It's similar runes that you'd seen in the book before, but I don't think you were able to.
Yeah, we didn't have somebody that could read it.
See how the toss these away again?
Again.
I'm gonna call Astra.
What's up?
What do they say?
Oh.
You know what
help.
these funny characters say.
Of course I do. I can help with that. Let me see. What does it say?
So there's a bunch of different types of papers. Some of them are simply just notes of orders, but I think the growing thing that you notice is that a lot of the writing has kind of gone out of date. Like, it's old writing. It's like there's a ledger and there's an entry for like 2 weeks ago. Before 2 weeks ago, there's an entry for like every day. And there's like 2 weeks ago, there's a gap of a day. And then there's a gap of 3 days. And then there's like no other entry until like 2 days ago. Something like that. All of the sort of documents are all out of sorts in some ways. Yeah. The other thing that you notice is there is a mention of Hazaric in particular. There's a mention that his body has been recovered. He won't spew any more secrets. And then there's a mention of, with his death, something seems to have changed. Something is almost like some of the machinery that he'd left has turned off. There's a mention of Harriet Halfstep. The Halfstep woman is helping. She will help build what Hazaric was working on. Like, very much just like straight up call outs to that. And then there's one page that just has scrawled on it celestial runes that just repeatedly read freedom, 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 freedom. As you finish reading through all of these and relaying the information to your friends, I think this room is a fairly good spot to stop for the night and give you all some time to plan and figure out what you're doing next.
Oh boy.
What is Harriet working on?
Arts and crafts.
Something not good. Something not good.
Things are happening. Things are
Alright. I'm scared.
Me too.
I'm scared. I'm so scared.
Astra read stuff. This is good.
What?
This is like a journal from Taiwan. Astra read stuff. This ale is good.
Yep. Alright.
That's all you need to know.
that was
Until
a
next
fun
time.
session, guys.
Yep.
Alright. Schema arc coming to a crashing close.
I'm sure the city will be fine.
We're just gonna release whatever's down there and then leave.
Is it a kraken?
I'm sure the city will be fine.
Alright. Until next time.
There's a third act moment
Bye,
coming.
Bye.
Bye.